25 years ago, when our country began the renovation period, Delta was among the pioneers who set first steps in the construction industry, marking the start of an extremely challenging journey. Now such steps have been imprinted on this S-shaped country, but with a completely different stand, steered and stronger than ever. And every time we look back at the 25-year journey of construction and development, we are proud of the long list of outstanding projects. Delta has become a powerful construction group that guarantees quality and lasting value in every single work. Established in 1993, Delta was one of the first companies that were given birth to thanks to the economic reforms initiated in the early 1986. As departed from Center of Building Technology Research and Application of National University of Civil Engineering's, Delta has possessed all the experience, intelligence, passion, and ethics of teachers since its beginning. Our principle to develop based on the two values, conscience and knowledge. Delta has successfully gathered a group of employees with profound conscience and knowledge, who can perform any tasks and have all to succeed in the construction industry. The early years were filled with challenges and difficulties. The target works were small but difficult projects that require intelligence, aesthetic, and technical competencies. These works include structural engineerings, architectural details, and construction in turnkey contract with goal of providing construction services of international standards. Delta keeps consistent with its pure conscience and persistent with its philosophies. The quality of works was always ensured. Such reputable start was highly rated by domestic and foreign project owners. From the late 90s, the company reached a great movement where it started to carry on works of board piles, driven piles, and high-rise buildings. And then, the company started basement construction with bottom-up, top-down, and semi-top-down methods, which was comparable with foreign companies. Since mastering the technology, Delta has been able to accelerate work progress and help owners to reduce construction cost. Delta has become the top construction company in Vietnam, leading the construction market in technical aspect and greatly contributing to the society as well as the construction industry of Vietnam. Delta, from now, has become a powerful construction group of 12 member companies, 2,500 engineers and architects with modern equipment systems. We are one of the top 5 of Vietnamese construction brands, top 10 of Vietnamese sustainable development brands, ranked 4 among top 500 of Vietnamese biggest companies in 2017 in housing and civil engineering projects construction. In any role, Delta takes its advantages to bring the maximum benefits for its clients. Delta succeeded in general contracting services. We win the trust of owners, not just for extensive experiences, but also for pioneering construction technologies in Vietnam. Design consulting was independently developed since Delta's early establishment. With the architects, engineers were trained abroad, Delta provided all the projects it consulted with beauty and convenience. In its extension to real estate, Delta is totally confident thanks to its current experience as a contractor and advantages of being a material supplier. We invest in real estate projects as both project owner and general contractor. It is such multidisciplinary approach to create a closed circle that helps Delta to confidently compete against other domestic and foreign contractors. Our goal is to construct projects of best quality and price through which we can satisfy our most fastidious clients. But our work must always carry the Delta image, which is conscience and knowledge. We can say that we owe a special thank you to Delta for wholeheartedly supporting us in the 2 projects of Vietels. Those are the best works we have ever produced. One of them won us the first prize in the World Architecture Festival, the other the second prize. We want to especially acknowledge the contribution of everyone working at the construction site. They were leading and sharing our passion. I want to thank Delta again for helping us build such a wonderful project. Through its own efforts, Delta has constructed many works throughout the country. Among these projects are those that made the brand of Delta. The piles foundation and basements for the highest buildings in Vietnam, such as Cang Nam Hanoi Landmark Tower, Lotte Center Hanoi, Bitexco Financial Tower, the deepest and biggest basements for Eden Shopping Center, Royal City Mega Mall, Vincom Center, the construction of urban areas such as Goldmark City, Royal City, Time City.
When we arrived in Delta, it was actually Sassy Delta on that time, years ago. And we was close to some architect, and the one was working there. This is one week we meet actually Sassy Delta, years ago. And we sensibly hoped then the project will not be finished on time, but before. And I'm sure that will help us to do so. Our big decision was because on the trust and the reputation and the past experience we got with you. So actually we did renew this experience.
For Delta to achieve so many accomplishments, attribution must be made to Delta people who never cease to innovate. It was 25 years of leadership sound directions, of willingness to learn and hard working of all engineers and workers. Great attention was paid to training activities to improve employees' skills. The Young Engineers Club and a Future Leaders Club were established to create a suitable environment for their development and innovation. Community projects are also carried out on a regular basis. Delta even develops its own charity programs, Go to School with Delta, showing its deepest desire to share the responsibility of education that stems from the empathy of leaders of Delta Group, from their professions as builders and teachers. All the engineers and employees of the group join hands to create the value of sharing and humanity, contributing to Delta's culture. That's why there are few places with such a good working environment as Delta's. The officials and employees here are cultivated and trained to grow not as just professionals, but also as a human. Beside personal orientation, Delta also creates an open working environment to ensure long-term commitment of its people. We think of the company as our second home. Therefore, it is of no surprise that many of Delta's employees have worked for the company since its establishment and have their second generation also work at Delta. After leaving the military, I came back and started working for Delta. Chairman Tran Nhat Thang encouraged and other superiors facilitated my pursuit of further study at the National University of Civil Engineering to become an engineer. After working and trying really hard, I became a site manager. I also take pride in the fact that my son, Nguyen Quang Vinh, has been an engineer at Delta for 8 years. It was Delta that gave me the opportunity to meet my current life partner. My son also became a member of the Delta home after finishing his university. That is a proof of my belief, as well as other employees of Delta's, in strong and sustainable development of Delta Group. For the next 25 years, I think firstly, I will have become a very old man. Secondly, in about 10 years, Delta will have reached the level of other international construction companies in terms of knowledge, equipment, professionalism, management in a very short time. Delta will have catch up with other great international companies in all of these aspects. The 25-year journey was filled with so many turns of changes, events, ups and downs. But for such 25 years, Delta, with its intelligence, patience, and willingness to improve, has succeeded to build its strong brand and presence across the country. Many challenges are waiting ahead, but with the readiness to conquer new heights and adopt new technology, Delta continues to impress as a reputable brand that ensures quality and creates sustainable values. Delta, build on conscience and knowledge.